Flow states have triggers, preconditions that lead to more flow. So if you want more flow in your life, there's a bunch of, so flow is not synonymous with peak performance. So there's more going on in peak performance. Flow is necessary, but not sufficient for peak performance. So we're only talking about 1/4 of an actual 4-part equation. That said, in this particular chunk of the equation, flow states have triggers. 22 that we know of, there's probably way more. Flow follows focus, shows up when all of our attention is right here, right now. That's what these triggers do. They drive attention into the present moment. And they do it in a lot of different ways, but one of the big ways they do that is by producing dopamine, which is, as I said, a focusing chemical. It feels like excitement and enthusiasm and the desire to make meaning up from the present, and right? So all the triggers I was talking about earlier are dopamine triggers. Novelty produces dopamine. Risk taking could be psychological, could be emotional, could be physical risk. Risk is another, because that drives attention to the present moment. Curiosity, passion, purpose, autonomy, because we like being in charge of our own lives, though, et cetera, et cetera. These all are all ways of getting dopamine into the system. So is creativity. So I'll come back to running in a second. When we link ideas together, pattern recognition, we get a little squirt of dopamine. And we've had this experience cognitively. If you've ever done a crossword puzzle or Sudoku, you get an answer right, there's a little rush of pleasure. That's dopamine, right? And why do you tend to get 2 or 3 or 4 answers right in a row when you're doing a crossword puzzle? They come in spurts. It's because dopamine amplifies pattern recognition. So you put together the pattern, you solve the one, get a little dopamine reward high. Oh, you notice the pattern here, have a reward, and you notice 2 or 3 more patterns, and then the chemical sort of burns out and you start again, right? And so that's how we tend to solve problems. That's one of the reasons creative ideas spiral. One idea leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. That's why creativity soars so much in flow, because there's a lot of dopamine and it's doing this in flow.